The alien queen touched my scar, and then collapsed to her knees, trembling. Eli Mercer knelt on the polished obsidian floor of the throne room, extending his bare forearm as protocol demanded. The air hummed with the low vibration of 100 alien courtiers, their iridescent scales shifting in unison. He kept his breathing steady, eyes fixed on the throne's elevated dais. Queen Syathra descended the steps, her elongated form gliding with predatory grace. Her forearms moved in ritual precision, fingertips glowing faintly blue from bioluminescence. She halted before him, towering twice his height. The court fell silent. "Envoy Mercer," she intoned, voice a resonant chime. "By the veil of Thra we bind truths." Her primary hands clamped his wrist, secondary fingers pressed into the jagged scar snaking up his forearm, an old memento from a mining collapse on Titan. Cool pressure seeped into his skin, like ice probing bone. Syathra's eyes widened. Her glow flared crimson. Scales rippled across her torso in violent waves. Eli tensed. Her grip tightened, then spasmed. The queen collapsed to her knees, body convulsing. "Seal the chamber," she gasped, secondary arms flailing. "No one leaves." Guards surged forward. Vectal, captain of the Royal Guard, drew his serrated blade in a blur, its edge humming with plasma charge. He leveled it at Eli's throat. "Human, explain this wound mark. What poison do you carry?" Eli held still, forearm still outstretched. The blade's heat singed his stubble. "It's a scar, Captain. Healed injury, nothing toxic." Courtiers hissed, scales flashing warning yellows and reds. Lord HFY rose from his alcove, his bulk dominating the side benches. "Lies. The Queen's sense reflex triggers only on sacred threats. The mark of the devourer. This Deathworlder bears it openly." "Execute him!" Vectal's blade didn't waver, but his gaze flicked to the writhing queen. She clutched her primary temples, bioglow pulsing erratically. Archivist Near darted from the shadows, her analyst robes fluttering. She knelt beside Syathra, scanning with a palm device. "My queen, stabilize. The reflex overloads your neural web. This human's tissue, it defies our scans." Eli lowered his arm slowly, palms open. "Let me help her." Vectal snarled, blade pressing closer. A bead of sweat traced Eli's collarbone. "You triggered this. Speak your death world sorcery." Syathra shuddered, forcing herself upright on trembling limbs. "Stand down, Vec. Envoy. Your mark. It sings of endurance beyond the veil. Our kind reject wounds. They consume us. Yours persists." "Healed?" Eli nodded. "Broke bones, tore muscle. Human bodies knit back. We adapt." Lord HFY barked a laugh, striding forward. His entourage followed, claws clicking. "Adapts? It mocks our purity." The queen collapses from mere contact. Her regime weakens. "Remove the abomination." Courtiers murmured agreement. Scales tilted toward orange aggression. Vectal glanced back, torn. Near's device beeped urgently. "Captain, human physiology registers as hyper-resilient, scar tissue denser than our carapace, no rejection markers. This is no threat. It's impossibility." Syathra rose unsteadily, shoving Near aside. She seized Eli's arm again. Deliberate now. Her fingers traced the scar's ridges. Eli felt her biofield tingle, like static electricity mapping his veins. "Pain lingers?" she whispered. "Phantom aches on cold days," Eli said. "Manageable." Her glow steadied to violet awe. "Our biorituals demand flawlessness. Scars mean biofailure, cellular revolt. We excise or perish. You bear it as badge." Eli met her gaze. "Survival tool. Pushed me to specialize in envoy work. Negotiate hazards others can't." Vectal lowered his blade a fraction. "He endures what kills us. But the hardliners," HFY interrupted, slamming a fist on the dais. "Endures? He assaults our queen. I invoke the lethal accord, test him in the crucible. If human frailty claims him, the pact dies with him." The court erupted. Scales flashed in factions, royal blues loyal to Syathra, HFY's crimson challengers. Vectal stepped between Eli and the Lord, blade redirecting. "No, HFY. The queen commands." "Silence, archivist. Decode this." She released Eli, turning to Nair. "If Deathworlders heal what we cannot, alliances shift. Near tapped her device furiously. Confirmed, Majesty. Human dermis regenerates via stem cascades. Their normal withstands radiation we shield against, gravity we engineer around. This scar, equivalent to our queen's surviving larval wars unscathed. HFY sneered. Flattery for weakness, she faltered, her reflex exposed vulnerability. I claim regency until recovery. Vectal growled, blade humming louder. Courtiers pressed in, a powder keg of scales and claws. Eli stood, calm amid the storm. He rolled down his sleeve, covering the scar. Test me if you must, Lord, but killing envoys fractures more than regimes. We build together, or fall separate. Sciathra locked eyes with him. Her hand hovered near his shoulder, hesitant. Then she placed it there. Light. Protective. No crucible. Vec. Escort HFY out. Archivist. Prepare full scans. Envoy Mercer stays. HFY recoiled. The trail. The court sees your panic. Protection. Sciathra snapped. Her glow enveloped Eli's form, a shield of bioenergy. Humans misread as threats become shields. We misread frailty as strength. Vectal sheathed his blade, clapping a hand on Eli's back, gentle for his bulk. You stood firm. Rare. Near beamed data to the Queen's console. Their endurance complements our bioharmony. Joint ventures. Viable. HFY stormed out, faction trailing but whispers lingered. Awe, edging fear. Eli exhaled, the throne room's hum softening. Sciathra leaned closer, voice low. Your mark saved discourse. What other scars hide in human flesh? As guards resealed the doors, Eli smiled faintly. Plenty, Majesty. Ready to learn? Her scales flushed collaborative green, but in the alcoves, HFY spies lingered, eyes promising deeper trials. Eli raised both hands, palms open, as the throne room's bioscanners hummed to life. Protocol 17. De-escalate. No weapons drawn. Dialogue resumes. His translator band projected the words in flawless Sciathran script, glowing above his wrists. Queen Sciathra's hand tightened on his shoulder. Her bioglow flickered yellow. Caution. Archivist near. Scan the envoy, now. Nair darted forward, scanner wand trembling in his claws. The device kissed Eli's forearm, where the sleeve now hid the scar. Lights danced across his skin. Nir's frills quivered. He yanked the wand back. Impossible. Healed trauma. Depth. 12 layers. Toxin residue matches null point shredders. Local survivability. 0.3%. Courtiers hissed. Scales rattled like dry leaves. Vectal stepped between Eli and the crowd. Claws extended but sheathed. Lord HFY whirled from the doors. His faction surged back in. Weapon. Organism. Embedded symbiote. Containment. Now. He jabbed a claw at Eli. Guards lunged, bayonets uncoiling. Eli stood firm. Vec's bulk blocked them. Sciathra's glow flared red. Alarm. Her voice cracked the air. Halt! Proof. First. Give me a clean blade, Eli said. His voice cut steady through the translator. And a synthetic pad. I'll trace the path. Near blinked vents. Envoy, that's ritual flesh. Synthetics mimic, but do it. The captain tossed a sterile scalpel, edge humming with containment fields. Nair slapped a gray pad onto a console, veins pulsing under the surface. Eli caught the blade. He pressed tip to pad. One smooth line. Shoulder to elbow. Deep gouge. Blood analog weld. Red. He reversed the path. Precise. Shrapnel from a wreck. Human standard. No organism. Healed in weeks. Near scanned the pad. Then Eli's arm again. Trajectory matches. Scar matrix. Self-regenerated. No grafts. No simlink. His vents wheezed. Humans endure shredder wounds. As baseline. The court froze. HFY snarled. Lies. That tissue defies harmony. He carries Deathworld blight. Sciathra recoiled, hand slipping from Eli's shoulder. Her glow pulsed erratic, panic etching her frills. How? Our physiology shatters at half that trauma. Eli wiped the blade clean, handed it back. Deathworlders adapt. Pain's our teacher. He met her eyes. Calm held him steady. Vec clapped Ellie's back again. Harder this time. Testing. Eli didn't budge. The captain's vents whistled respect. He withstands. Like carapace elders. Near thrust datapads at courtiers. See the metrics. Human baseline exceeds our elite thresholds. Endurance, not threat. HFY lunged forward. Regicide by proxy. The queen falters. Her rituals blind her. His faction chittered agreement. Nets snapped open. Vec roared, slamming HFY to the floor. Guards piled on the lord. Chaos rippled. Courtiers split, half shielding Eli, half baying for purge. Sciathra staggered to her throne. Her claws gripped the arms. Enough! Bioenergy lashed out, pinning factions in place. This human scar proves alliance potential. We misread frailty. Eli watched her glow shift, yellow to steady blue. Protection. But HFY twisted under Vec, eyes locked on Eli. You'll fracture us all, soft flesh. Nair sidled close to Eli. Scanner still clutched, their vitals stable, post-trauma markers absent. How do you function? Practice, Eli said. He rolled his sleeve down fully. The scar gleamed pink under lights, ordinary to him. Sciathra rose. She extended a claw, not to strike, but to trace the mark, light as breath. This saved discourse, and nearly ended it. Her frills smoothed. Vec. Secure the dissenters. Near, decode full profiles. Envoy, stay near. HFY spat from the floor. Her panic betrays weakness. Execute the blight bearer. A courtier broke ranks, claw raised at Eli. Vec intercepted, hurling the attacker into a pillar. Cracks echoed. Eli's pulse stayed even. He scanned the room. Spies in alcoves, nets half deployed. Goal, de-escalate fully. Conflict, fracturing court. He stepped toward Sciathra. Majesty, joint scans. Show them our data matches yours. She nodded, glow enveloping him again. Shield-like, near-patched feeds to wall screens, human endurance graphs spiking past Scythran peaks. Gasps rippled, HFY bucked free momentarily. Illusion. He's poisoned her harmony. Vec pinned him again. Test him yourself, hardliner. Crucible denied. Prove your claim. The Lord froze. Eyes darted. Not here. Conclave demands it. Sciathra's voice boomed. Conclave dismissed. Protection protocol enacted. She pulled Eli closer, her frame towering yet hesitant. Eli felt the shift, her bioheat warming his side. Trust budding. Raw. Near leaned in. Envoy, your normal rewrites our archives. Toxin neutralization. Innate. Regeneration. Unchecked. Courtiers murmured awe. One knelt. Deathworld shield. HFY's faction dragged out, snarling. But whispers spread. He endured the impossible. Sciathra released Eli slightly. Her vents cycled slow. What else hides in human flesh? Eli glanced at Vec, who nodded. Elily now. Plenty. Test one at a time. Doors sealed. Scans hummed on. But alcove shadows stirred. HFY's spies slipped conduits. Datapods blinking. Eli spotted the glint. He touched his translator. Silent alert cued. Nair caught it. Intrusion? Trials deepen, Eli murmured. Sciathra's claw gripped his arm. Over the scar. Then we faced them bonded. Vec hefted his blade. Together, the queen's glow steadied green. Collaborative, but a distant chime pierced the hum. Conclave override. HFY's voice echoed from vents. Full court, human to crucible, now. Sciathra tensed. Ellie straightened. The real test ignited. Archivist Near's scanner pinged again. Eli's fresh vitals overlaid the scar data. Graphs spiked, human baseline dwarfing Sciathran elites. Courtiers clustered screens, frills splaying in shock. See? Near jabbed a claw. Not weapon. Compliment. One courtier touched her own ritual scar. Shallow, grafted. She hissed envy. Our scar forever. His vanished. HFY's bellow cut from the vents. Deception. Her glow falters. Queen compromised. Sciathra whirled. Bioenergy lashed conduits, frying spy pods. Sparks flew. Eli moved with her, back-guarded by Vec. He raised hands again. De-escalation protocol. Share data live. Nair beamed Eli's full profile. Rec logs, toxin assays, heal timelines. Human med records scrolled. Dozens of impossibles normalized. A hardliner gasped. They walk with shredder wounds? Vec grunted approval. Shields us. Sayathra faced the court. Misread no more. Humans. Endurance kin. Cheers mixed hisses. Factions teetered, but HFY's override chime swelled. Doors groaned open. Conclave enforcers poured in, claws gleaming. Eli gripped the synthetic pad residue, proof in hand. Ready? Sayathra's hand found his shoulder, bonded. Vec charged first. Battle joined. Eli dodged a net, countering with a pad swipe. Disarming one, his scar itched reminder. Near scanned mid-fight. Enforcers HFY loyal. Lethal intent. Sayathra unleashed glow blasts. Felling 3. Her regime held. Barely. Eli tackled a spy, pinning him. Yield. The alien's eyes widened at the scar up close. Impossible flesh. Vec hauled HFY. Vec tall hauled Lord HFY from the vent shadows. Claws locked around the rival's throat frills. The Lord thrashed, biospikes firing wild. Eli dodged a stray barb, rolling behind Sayathra's glowing form. Enforcers crumpled under her energy lashes. 5 down, smoke curling from charred carapaces. Yield, Vec roared, slamming HFY to the dais edge. HFY spat venom. Traitor! The human's flesh mocks our rights. Sayathra staggered, glow dimming. Her elites rushed forward. Eli caught her elbow. Steady, supportive. She straightened, frills rigid. Pain etched her mandibles, but resolve hardened her gaze. Court! Her voice boomed through conduits, overriding chimes. Silence! Conduits hummed. Screens froze on Eli's medlogs. Courtiers froze too, claws mid-gesture. HFY wheezed under Vec's grip. Sayathra forced herself upright. Legs locked, she thrust a claw skyward. Bioluminescence flared, etching runes in the air. I invoke the right of threshold. Proof of harm demands endurance beyond pride. Gasps rippled. Nayar's screens flickered. Ancient protocols scrolling. Vec released HFY with a shove. The Lord scrambled back, eyes gleaming triumph. Eli met Sayathra's stare. Her panic lingered from the scar reveal. His faded wreck mark, mistaken for a sacred threat sigil. Now her regime teetered. Factions hissed. She needed this right to rebind them. He nodded once. I accept. Court recoiled. Nir's claws danced. Human. Threshold claims blood oath or fracture test. Lethal yields. Eli scanned the dais. Restraint pads. Nerve conduits pulsing blue. Controlled stress test. Calibrated pulses. Safety limit enforced. Sayathra's frills twitched. Misread again. Humans chose measured pain? Vec grunted, hauling harness straps. Bold. Lie still. Eli climbed the dais without hesitation. Cool metal bit his back. Vec strapped wrists, ankles, torso. Clamps hissed shut. Nayar synced pads to Eli's skin. Probes pricking veins. Human baseline. Elevated thresholds. Nir murmured, projecting vitals. Heart steady at 80 BPM. Pain tolerance off charts. HFY sneered from the vents. He breaks. Queen falls. Sayathra silenced him with a glare. Proceed.
Supervise, Nir. Vec gripped the pulse console.
Knobs clicked. Level 1. Blue arcs snapped across Eli's nerves. Eli inhaled sharp. Fire lanced his limbs, like venom burn from the wreck. 1. Court leaned in. Frills splayed wide. Vec up to 2. Arcs crackled louder, twisting muscles. 2. Eli's voice stayed even. Sweat beaded, but jaws clenched firm. Nor's eyes widened. Neural feedback? No cascade. He counts? 3. Eli's fingers curled against straps. Legs spasmed, but core held. Wreck memories flashed. Shrapnel shredding gut. Him cauterizing solo. This? Manageable. 3. Courtiers hissed envy. 1 touched her grafted scar. Shallow ritual mark. Hours scream at 2. 4. Vec's claws hesitated. Eli locked eyes. Continue. Pulse hit. White-hot forks stabbed spine. Breath hitched. 4. Eli exhaled slow, boxed breaths. In 4, hold 4. Out 4. Navy training. Sayathra gripped the dais rail. Her glow synced to his vitals, rising with each count. Pride, no protection. She shielded him from HFY's glares. 5. Agony bloomed chest deep, ribs vibrating. Vision blurred. 5. Voice gravel now, but clear. HFY lunged forward. Fraud! Interrupt! Vec blocked him, spike drawn. Right binds. Near jabbed data. Adrenaline surge minimal. Endorphins, normalizing pain. Death world trait. 6. Eli's world narrowed to the burn. Nerves screaming overload. Muscles locked rigid. 6. He forced grin. Tick-tock. Court gasped. Vec amped to 7. Max safe for Scythran. Arcs roared, dais shaking. Eli bit back roar. Wreck pain echoed. Toxin flood. Organs failing. Him trekking 20 clicks to evac. This was a timer. 7. Sweat poured. Heart spiked to 140, but no break. Seathra's claw found his strapped wrist. Warmth pulsed. Her bioenergy soothing nerves. Trust in grip. Near yanked console. Safety limit. Cumin holds. Eli rasped. Stop. Vec killed power. Arcs died. Silence crashed. Eli sagged. Breaths ragged. Straps loosened. He sat up slow. Muscles jelly, but bones whole. Scar itched under shirt. Faded proof. Court recoiled. Frills collapsed. One elite fainted. Mandibles slack. Impossible, HFY whispered. Our thresholds shatter guards at 5. Near beamed scans. Eli's nerves rewiring already. Inflammation dropping. Regeneration active. Humans, stopwatch flesh. Scythra unstrapped him fully. Her glow enveloped. Protective halo. Eli stood on shaky legs. She steadied him, shoulder to shoulder. Misread no more, she declared. Humans endure. We shield. Bonded strength. Cheers erupted. Factions swaying. Vex saluted. Spike sheathed. Even HFY's enforcers lowered claws, awe-cracking hardline stares. But HFY slunk back, vents humming. His chime whispered, override. Subtle, building. Eli rubbed wrists, meeting Scythra's eyes. Pain shared forged trust. Her regime held. For now. Nair approached, datapad glowing. Envoy Mercer. Your count teach protocol? Eli nodded. Team drill. Builds grit. Vec clapped his shell. Shields us better. Scythra's frill brushed Eli's arm. Cross-species touch. Electric. Next right. Yours. Court roared approval. HFY vanished into shadows. Eli scanned vents. Game not over. But clock ticked his way. Deeper in chambers, alarm stirred. HFY's loyalists massed. Lethal right incoming. Scythra pulled Eli aside, voice low. They come for blood. You ready? Eli flexed hands. Pain fading fast. Count on it. Vec scouted ahead. Near plotting defenses. Trust sealed in scars and pulses. But enforcer claws scraped halls. Real test loomed. Eli gripped a loose conduit. Improvised tool. Humans adapted. Scythra's glow flared beside him. Partners now. HFY's voice echoed. Threshold broken. Execute the deceiver. Doors buckled. Charge. Eli dodged first strike, countering with precise jab. Vec barreled in. Battle reignited. Hotter. Near hurled EMP orbs, frying weapons. Scythra blasted flanks. Eli pinned one, scar gleaming under torn shirt. Attacker froze. Endurance. Godflesh. Yield rippled. Factions turned. HFY roared retreat, but too late. Queen's elites swarmed. Victory hummed. Trust won. Yet Eli caught the whisper. Hidden enforcer. Blade drawn for Queen. He lunged. Pain forgotten. Protection first. Eli's lunge drove his elbow into the enforcer's throat. The alien choked. Blade clattering free. Eli twisted the arm back, pinning the body to the chamber floor. Hot blood, his own, dripped from a shallow gash on his forearm. The court froze. Queen Scythra recoiled, her frill flaring crimson. Contagion! Lord HFY surged forward, mandibles clicking. See? Death world filth. His scar mocks our rights. Endurance without surrender. It destabilizes the threshold. Nobles hissed agreement, claws scraping stone. Factions split, murmurs swelling to roars. HFY's eyes locked on Eli. Execute the deceiver now. Scythra's glow pulsed erratically. She clutched her crest. No blood in open court. Transfer him. Quarantine suite. Seal it. Her voice cracked, but command held. Vectal, you guard. Contain this. Anomaly. Vectal snapped to attention. Shell plates grinding. He hauled Eli up by the collar, grip firm but not crushing. Move, human. Two elites flanked them, spears leveled. Eli kept pace, scanning the corridor. Nobles parted, glares burning. HFY's whispers slithered behind. Isolate, then purge. The quarantine suite hissed open, sterile white, biolocks glowing. Vec shoved Eli inside, the door sealed with a vacuum suck. No windows. A nutrient dispenser hummed in the corner, trays of sealed meal packs stacked beside it. Eli rolled his shoulders, testing the new cut. Shallow. He'd live. Vec slumped against the wall, one leg buckling. A gash wept green ichor above his ankle joint, torn tendon from the melee, fibers dangling. You need that fixed, Eli said, or you'll limp permanent. Vec's frill twitched. Warrior endures. No weakness. Eli knelt, ignoring the protest. Endure smarter. He ripped open a meal pack, dense protein weave, flexible foil backing, sterile enough. From his envoy kit, strapped to his belt overlooked in the rush, he pulled microsutures, monofilament thread, curved needle. Survival standard. Humans packed for Death World ops. Vec hissed as Eli probed the wound. What ritual is this? Field medicine. Hold still. Eli flushed the gash with dispenser fluid, antiseptic sting. He sutured the tendon ends, precise loops pulling fibers taut. 3 minutes. No tremor. Vec's shell plates clenched, but he stayed statue still. Eli snapped the foil from a meal pack, folding it into a rigid splint. He bound it with spare thread, immobilizing the joint. Walk test. Vec rose, weight shifting. Pain eased from his stance. He flexed the leg, functional, stronger. His gaze sharpened on Eli's scar. The old abdominal gash, visible through torn shirt. No ritual scar. Yet you fight. Heal. Old fall. Ribs cracked. Guts sliced. Stitched myself. Eli shrugged. Humans adapt. Vec's claw tapped his splint. You protect Queen. Now me. Asset. A chime blared. HFY's voice crackled through the intercom. Open. Purge protocol invokes. Deathworlder contaminated threshold. Vec blocked the door panel. Queen's order stands. Stand down, Lord. Scratches clawed outside. Agents probing seals. Traitor. He fractures her radiance. Yield. Vec palmed his shock lance, stance widening to shield Eli. No entry. Human stays. Eli grabbed a loose vent grate. Improvised club. They breach. We hold. The scratching stopped. Footsteps retreated. Vec exhaled. Frill relaxing. HFY fractures court. Nobles split. Half-seer endurance as omen. Queen wavers. Eli nodded. Trust clicked. Vec guarded him now. Not just the door. Sayathra's voice overrode the intercom. Status. Vec straightened. Secure, Majesty. Human repaired my tendon. Combat ready. Silence stretched. Then, bring him to antechamber. Rights resume. A HFY petitions trial by endurance. Vec unsealed the door. Elites waited outside. Postures tense. No HFY agents in sight. Eli stepped out. Vec at his flank. Protective shadow. Corridors buzzed. Nobles clustered at junctions, frills debating colors. Archivist Nair intercepted them, datapad flickering. Envoy. Your sutures. Mimic our bioweaves but crude. Effective. Scans confirm. Human physiology ignores pain thresholds. Death world trait. Practical, Eli said. Keeps us moving. Nir's mandibles clicked approval. Queen consults. HFY rallies hardliners. Claims your scar invokes forbidden response. Eternal war mark. Vec growled. Lies. Human saved her. They reached the antechamber. Sayathra waited on a raised dais, glow subdued. HFY loomed opposite, flanked by armored loyalists. Court packed the ring, hundreds, claws tensed. Envoy Mercer, Sayathra intoned. Ritual cadence. Your presence breaks assumptions. Trial. Endure the lash of threshold, voluntarily. HFY smirked. He flees or dies. Prove no contagion. Eli met her gaze. Frill quivered. Vulnerable, she'd locked him for her safety. Now tested him. He stripped off his shirt. Scar bared. Define endure. Naira projected. A neural whip. Bioelectric. Shreds nerves without breaking skin. Lethal to their kind after 5 lashes. Their right of fealty. Eli extended his arm. One at a time. Count aloud. Vec gripped his lance tighter. Human. Trust. Ellie cut in. Sayathra signaled. The whip cracked. Fire lanced Eli's nerves. He gritted teeth. Muscles locked. 1. Court gasped. No frill flare. No collapse. Second lash. Vision blurred. Lungs burned. 2. Ishkai leaned forward. Impossible. 3rd. Eli swayed. Sweat sheeting. Adrenaline surged. Death world wiring. Sayathra's glow flared bright. Awe rippled nobles. Factions shifted. Hardliners faltered. 4th. Knees buckled. Vec caught him. Eli waved him off. 4. Heshkai bellowed. Sorcery! Abort! 5th. World narrowed to pain. Eli roared through it. Stood tall. 5. Silence crashed. Sayathra descended, frill brushing his chest. Intimate, electric, endured, without yield. Her claw traced his scar. Sacred strength, ours misread, nobles knelt. Heshkai snarled retreat, loyalists scattering. Vec clapped shell. Asset proven, Nair logged furiously. Alliance data, human resilience complements our precision. Eli exhaled, pain fading to ache. Sayathra's touch lingered, protection traded. Pride yielded, but Heshkai's shadow lingered in the vents. Whispers plotted deeper rites. Eli flexed sutured hands. Clock ticked. Partners endured. Alarms wailed anew. Breach in lower halls. Heshkai's final gambit. Sayathra tensed. Eli gripped Vec's shoulder. Together? Vec nodded. Charge. The door to Eli's suite irised open without a chime. Queen Sayathra strode in alone. No Vec. No guards. Her frill pulsed faint blue. Curiosity laced with strain. She sealed the door behind her. Alarms from the lower halls still throbbed distant, muffled by the palace stone. Eli rose from his bunk. Fresh bandages wrapped his back from the lashes. The old scar on his forearm itched under scrutiny. Your Majesty. Breach secured. Contained. Her claws clicked the floor. She stopped arm's reach away. Glow-dimmed eyes locked on his scar. This mark, not from our right. Explain. Direct. Eli flexed his hand. Practical truth first. No fluff. Old wound. Human baseline. Happened on Earth. Knife fight. Survived. Her frill flared sharp. Sacred threat response. Pulse ridges swell. Frill yields toxin barbs. Collapse signals fealty. Yours. Dry. What hides? Misread resilience as threat mimicry. Court shock replayed in his mind. He nodded to the medkit on the table. Show you, human way. She tilted her head. Claws hovered. Eli opened the kit, pulled antiseptic wipe. Alcohol sting hit air. Infection kills us without this. Scar proves control. Sayathra watched unblinking. Eli peeled back his sleeve. Exposed the jagged line. 5 inches puckered white from field stitches. Wipe glided over it, cleaned residue. No flinch. Skin pinked but held. Her breath hitched, glow brightened. No pain flare, ridge absent. Humans adapt. Eli capped the wipe. Adrenaline dulls. Endorphins follow. Scar stays functional. She extended her own arm. Pulse ridges ringed her wrist, vibrant green slits throbbing. Reciprocate. Test. Eli paused. Consent mattered. Death world habit. Touch only. Pulse check. No deeper. Agreed. Her claw tapped his palm. Cool. Scaled. She flipped her arm. Ridges parted slight under pressure. Ellie pressed 2 fingers light. Pulse raced. Double human rate. Steady rhythm. Strong. Healthy. No infection sign. Sayathra's frill smoothed. Awe flickered. Your grip. Precise. No tremor post-lash. Door chime cut in. Beck Tau burst through. Shell scarred from breach fight. Majesty. Heshkai fled vents. Nobles demand record. Near followed. Data pad glowing. Alliance clause. Verify rights public. Lord Heshkai loomed last. Robes torn. Hardliner eyes burned. Sorcery hides. Execute the offworlder. Scythra spun. Frill dominance. Flared red. Court assembles. Now, they march to the grand hall. Eli at her flank. Lashes ached with each step, but stride held even. Nobles packed tears. Whispers hissed. HFY's faction clustered vent side, claws twitching. Scythra mounted dais. Glow commanded silence. Human envoy endured fealty. Scar reveals truth. Witness. Eli stepped forward, med kit in hand. Goal clear. Prove compatibility. Build trust. Human physiology. He unsealed sleeve again. Wipe out. Cleaned Scar live. No yield toxin. Control microbes. Nobles leaned. Gasps rippled. A hardliner mimicked. Wiped own arm. Ridge swelled uncontrolled. Nair projected scan. Human baseline. Keratin thickens. Coagulation rapid. Deathworld trait. HFY snarled. Deception. Demand reciprocal full. Scythra's claw silenced him. Envoy sets boundary. Eli met her gaze. Touch test only. Palm to pulse. Consent. Verbal. Public. Log. She offered palm. Scales gleamed. Granted. Monitor ridges. Eli took it. Firm but gentle. Fingers found ridges. Pulse quickened. Reaction to contact? Elevated? Arousal? Or stress? Frill blushed violet. Court stilled. Curiosity. Near logged. Data. Cross-species sync viable. Human dampens over flare. Vec gripped lance. Shell tensed protective. Asset secures queen. HFY lunged edge. Lies. Her glow falters. Threat response triggered. Scythra yanked palm back. Glow spiked erratic. Frill quivered. She clutched wrist. Impossible. Ridges. Burn. Panic hit court. Nobles surged. Tardliners bade execution. Softer shells knelt confused. Eli dropped kit. Instinct kicked. Breathe. Slow. He gripped her shoulders. Light pressure. Death world calm. Pulse mine. Match it. Her eyes widened. Claws dug tunic. Not piercing. Glow synced to his heartbeat. Steady thud. Ridges eased. Vec blocked HFY. Lance hummed charge. Stand down. Near waved pad. Allergic sync. Human oils seal ridges. Temporary. Scythra exhaled sharp. Frill settled teal. Trust hue. She rose tall. Human protects. Without pride. HFY bellowed. Regime fractures. Off-worlder poisons. Expel him, echoed loyalists. Scythra signaled Vec. Guards swarmed HFY. Dragged him writhing. Trial for breach. Envoy stays. Court split murmurs. Awe won edges. Near bowed. Alliance strengthens. Human endurance complements right precision. Eli released her shoulders. Scar itched anew. Proof traded. Scythra's gaze lingered. Electric. Private suite. Deeper test. Her whisper cut comms only. Touch my back. Verify. Eli's pulse jumped. Boundary tested. Trust deepened. HFY's glare burned from chains. Vec clapped shell. Together holds, but vents whispered. Deeper plots stirred. Eli nodded. Lead. She turned. Frill brushed his chest. Intimate promise. Court dispersed uneasy. Alarms silenced, but fractures spread. In sweet shadows, Scythra shed out her robe. Back scales gleamed. Ridge lines vulnerable. Here. Monitor. Ellie's fingers hovered. Consent reaffirmed. Verbal yes? Yes. Glow pulsed invitation. Touch landed. Ridges thrummed under pads. Heat built. Her frame arched slight. Human. Steady. Pulse raced hers. Alien awe met death world grit. Misread scar forged bond. Door hissed warning. Nair's voice crackled. Majesty. HFY escaped custody. Armed cells rally. Scythra tensed. Claw gripped Eli's wrist. Protective right, now. Vec charged in. Perimeter breach. Eli pulled medkit. Scar cleaned reflex. Flank her. We endure. Frill flared bright. Queen stood tall beside human. Factions clashed halls beyond. Trust ignited war's edge. HFY's voice boomed vents. Death to the yieldless! Eli bared teeth. Adrenaline surged. Not today. They plunged into fray, protection over pride, bond unbreakable. Saothra's ridges synced his beat, glow unified. Court watched from tears, shock to reverence. One lash-marked arm shielded Queen, other gripped Vex's shell. Nair scanned paths. Hardliners swarmed. Claws slashed. Eli dodged. Punched human torque crumpled shell. Vec lanced through. Asset unbreakable. Queen's toxin barbs flew precise. Felled 3. HFY burst center. Blade high. Sorcerer falls. Eli tackled. Scar split open. Blood welled. Rolled. Pinned. Rival. Yield. HFY thrashed. Impossible. Saothra's claw pierced his frill. Toxin dropped him limp. Fealty denied. Silence reigned. Nobles knelt wholesale. Awe crashed waves. Near logged final. Human compliments. Alliance eternal. Eli stanched his scar. Wipeout, cleaned amid stares. No yield. Saothra knelt beside. Palm to his. Ridges touched scar. Sacred match. Vex stood guard. Shell proud. Trust sealed. Fractures healed. Partners endured, but HFY stirred faint. Eyes gleamed plot. Deeper rites loomed. Eli met Queen's gaze. Ready for more? Her frill violet blushed. Touch back. Private. Door sealed. Bond deepened. Death world met precision. Victory hummed. Vents hissed open along the quarantine wing ceiling. A thick, acrid fog poured out, curling toward the floor like predator smoke. Eli Mercer clamped his mouth shut. His lungs burned already, but he moved. He snatched a medical kit from the wall mount beside Queen Saothra's sealed pod. Fabric strips soaked in saline solution came first, ripped free, jammed into the nearest vent grill. Pressure tape from the kit sealed it tight. One down. The Queen's frill flickered erratically through the pod's translucent barrier. Her ridges pulsed faint alarm colors. She slumped against the inner wall, eyes glazing. Gas, Eli rasped, voice muffled by his held breath. He pointed at Vectal. The guard captain swayed, massive shell scraping stone as he dragged an unconscious loyalist behind a console bank. Vec's claws scraped for purchase. Eli signaled. Flank left, low crawl. 2 shadows detached from the far hatch. HFY's assassins, frills hooded black. Toxin barbs extended. They advanced in sync, claws probing the haze for targets. Eli exhaled slow, grabbed a fresh breath through his shirt collar, and rolled low. The sedative clawed his throat, but he pushed it down. Human lungs endured worse. He taped the second vent shut. Fog slowed, but not enough. Near, the archivist punched at a console across the chamber, her tendrils flying over controls. She jabbed a broadcast node. Intruders confirmed. Proof streaming to court tiers. Vectal nodded sharp, following Eli's raised fingers. Enemy lead. Joint lock. The captain scuttled left, silent despite his bulk. Eli circled right, boots silent on the grated floor. Adrenaline sharpened his scar's old ache into focus. The lead assassin lunged for the Queen's pod. Claws scraped the seal. Eli exploded from cover. He hooked the assassin's primary arm, twisted into an armbar. Human torque overriding alien leverage. The frill flared panic yellow. Toxin barb whipped back, but Eli pinned the wrist joint with his knee. Zip ties from the kit snapped around shell and limb. 1 restraint. 2. Vectal struck from the flank. His lance pierced the second assassin's thigh joint. Shell cracked. The intruder thrashed, gas mask hissing. Vec dragged him down, bound him with utility cord. Nir's voice cut through the comms. Court views all. HFY's signature on the override codes. Eli hauled the lead assassin upright, slammed him against the wall. Who sent you? The alien's eyes rolled, sedative warring with pain. Eli slapped his frill, instinct from briefings. Color shifted, deceit red to fear violet. Lord demands purity, the assassin hissed. Human taint ends. The Queen stirred in her pod. Ridges synced to Eli's pulse. Visible through the haze, she pressed a claw to the inner panel. Release. Now. Eli punched the emergency override. Pod hissed open. Saothra stumbled out, frill dim but defiant. She inhaled deep. Gas hit her like a hammer. Yet she stood, barbs poised. You breathed it. Vectal rose, shell-scarred but steady. Human asset unaffected. Vents sealed by his hand. Footfalls echoed from the hatch. Lord HFY strode in, flanked by hardliner nobles. His frill dominated crimson, treachery exposed. The yieldless sorcery corrupts our queen. Eli stepped forward, scar throbbing under his sleeve. No blood yet. Your assassins failed. Call them off. HFY's claws flexed. That mark on your flesh. Sacred threat response. Yet you wield it as weapon. Abomination. Sci-Fi's voice cracked the tension. It matches. Endurance beyond ritual. He sealed death while we fell. Nir's console pinged. Broadcast complete. Tears demand trial verdict. Human proved. Hardliners murmured. One noble's frill-dipped submission blew. HFY snarled. Fracture spreads. Execute the Death Worlder. Vectal leveled his lance.
Captain's oath holds.
Eli met the queen's gaze. Her ridges brushed his arm. Warm, pulsing sync. Trust solidified in that touch. He nodded to Vec. Cover fire. To Nir. Jam their combs. Chaos erupted. Hardliners charged. Claws slashed air. Eli dodged. Grabbed a fallen assassin's barb-tipped gauntlet. He parried HFY's strike. Metal rang. Human grip crushed the noble's claw guard. Shell plates buckled under elbow strike. Sci-Fi unleashed toxin darts. 2 hardliners dropped. Frills limp. Vectal barreled through the flank. Lance spinning. Protect the complement. Nir hurled a datapad EMP burst. Enemy barbs sparked dead. HFY broke free. Blade arcing for Ellie's scar. Fall. Eli rolled under, swept the legs. Pinned him again. Zip tie ready. Yield. The Lord thrashed. Impossible resilience. Court feeds blared from Nir's console. Nobles in tears knelt. Frills unified violet awe. Sacred match confirmed. Sci-Fi knelt beside Ellie, palm to his chest. Ridges touched the scar through torn fabric. Glow shared. You endured for us. Eli stanched a fresh cut with tape. We protect our own. Vectal hauled HFY away. To cells. Plot ends. But as restraints clicked, HFY's eyes gleamed. A hidden barb twitched in his grip. Final toxin load. Eli lunged. Blade grazed his shoulder. Pain flared, but he wrenched it free. Queen's claw pierced the Lord's frill. Toxin surged. HFY slumped. Silence blanketed the wing. Fog cleared. Nir logged the feeds. Alliance unbreakable. Human physiology. Death world proof. Sci-Fi pulled Eli close. Frill blushed private violet. Deeper rites await. Private chamber. Door sealed behind them. Beck stood guard outside, shell proud. Inside, her ridges traced his scar. This mark, our threat echo. Mated strength. Eli's hand covered hers. Pulse matched. Trust earned. Bond deepened. But comms buzzed faint. Whispers from outer halls. Fractures lingered. Deeper threats coiled. Eli tensed. More coming? Her frill flared challenge gold. Together. They armed. Door hissed open. Vex signaled. Ambush inbound. Gas vents whispered again. Subtle. From hidden ducts. Eli grinned.
Kit ready.
HFY's final loyalists swarmed the outer corridor. Claws gleamed. Frills screamed war cries. Vec charged first. Shell a battering ram. 2 crumpled. Eli flanked. Joint lock snapping limbs. Human endurance outlasted their frenzy. Sci-Fi's barbs flew true. Poison misted air. Nir broadcast live. Witnessed the compliment. Tears erupted cheers. Awe waves crashed. One loyalist broke through. Toxin blade high. Eli took the hit. Scars split wide. Blood welled hot. He didn't fall. Punched through shell. Dropped the foe. Queen stanched the wound. Ridges sealing human flesh and biogel from her claws. Endure with me. Pain faded to fire. Strength surged. Hardliners routed. Court united. Yet in the shadows a final whisper. Exiled nobles signal. Fleet inbound. Eli wiped blood. Met her gaze. Ready? Friel synced. Always. Trust forged in gas and blood. Death world. Met precision. War's edge sharpened. But the fleet's shadow loomed. Deeper rites demanded blood price. Eli sealed the last vent, kept breathing. Queen Sci-Fi slammed her claw on the dais. The grand court chamber echoed with the crack. Lord HFY. Her voice sliced through the murmurs. Frills rippled across the tiered benches. Nobles, guards, archivists frozen in place. Present yourself. The evidence mounts. Eli Mercer stood at her side, shoulder bandaged in her biogel. The stuff itched under his skin suit, but it held. Vectal flanked him, shell scarred from the corridor fight. Nair hovered nearby, datapad glowing with intercepted signals. HFY slithered forward from the shadows, his frill pulsed crimson accusation. Majesty, this human taints our halls. His blood reeks of death-world poison. Execute him now. Sciathra's ridges flexed. She thrust a holovid forward. It bloomed. Gas vents hissing in the outer corridor. HFY's loyalists fleeing the scene. Your assassins failed, again. Vex guards recovered the toxin vials, marked with your crest. Gasps rippled. Nobles leaned in. HFY's claws scraped stone. Fabrication. The off-worlder planted them. Eli kept his stance loose. No need to boast. He'd survived worse than court intrigue. Old scar on his ribs proved it, from a mining collapse on Titan, back when he was just a survival tech. Vec growled low. My teams traced the ducks to your estate, Lord. Deny it. Nier tapped his pad. Live feeds from the outer halls projected. HFY's frillmates dragging wounded away. Corroborated. These signatures match his exiled allies. Incoming. The court erupted. Frills flared in chaos. Some gold loyalty, others black betrayal. HFY lunged for the dais. Lies! The queen weakens, clutching this scarred freak. Sciathra barred his path with a venom barb extended. Enough. Eli Mercer endured your right. Healed without collapse. Speak, envoy. Claim your due. All eyes locked on Eli. Pride tempted him. Humans built empires from harsher worlds, but superiority killed alliances. He met her gaze. Frill steadied blue trust. No claim of superiority, Majesty. Eli's voice cut calm through the din. Humans endure. Your precision strikes true. Together, we trade. Our field medicine for your bioseals. Defense pacts. Mutual. No rights forced. Murmurs shifted. HFY sneered. He grovels. Proof of weakness. Sciathra's frill sank to Eli's calm. She turned to the court. Hear him. The pain right. Our sacred test. Binds kin through shared agony. Outsiders fracture under it. No more. She raised her claw. I abolish it for aliens. Replace with consent clause. Voluntary exchange. Proof of trust. Shouts exploded. Hardliners rose. Frills screaming red. Blasphemy! The right forged our empire. Vex guards blocked aisles. Spears gleamed. Nier broadcast the decree live. Empire-wide. Witness reform. Complementarity endures. HFY whirled on Sciathra. You collapse at his scar touch. It mocks our threat response. Pale, unfilled flesh. Her ridges quivered. Memory flashed. First touch in chambers. She'd panicked, assuming the scar signaled human war frenzy. Bioritual demanded isolation. Eli just stood. Bled a drop. Laughed. Now fracture lines cracked her regime. Nobles split. Loyalists bowed. Rivals plotted. Eli stepped forward. Majesty, show them. She hesitated. Frill flickered doubt gold. HFY pressed. Do it, weakling queen. Touch the abomination. Fall again. Sciathra's claw extended. The court held breath. She pressed ridges to Eli's scar, right over the fresh blade split. Biogel warmed. Human skin knit tighter. She didn't buckle. Gasps thundered. Her frill blazed victory gold. She stood tall. See? Human resilience complements our precision. No threat. Alliance. The court bowed. Waves of it, first tier, then all. Frills dipped in awe. HFY staggered back. Impossible. Vex seized him. Claws locked. Treason confirmed. To the pits. Nier's pad chimed. Fleet decelerating. Surrender broadcast sent. Eli exhaled. Gel cooled on his skin. Sciathra's claw lingered, trust sealed. But outer feeds buzzed, a noble's whisper. Not over. Deeper rights demand blood price. She withdrew. Frill synced challenge. Together? Eli nodded. Kit checked. Always. Court cleared. Guards escorted HFY away, snarling. Sciathra led to strategy vault. Eli followed, Vec at flank. Nier trailed, analyzing. Vault sealed. Holomaps bloomed. Enemy fleet arrowing in. dozens strong. Exiles rally, Saethra said. They invoke old pain rights. Demand my shell for the insult. Eli traced vectors, human navsims loaded. Flank their engines. Our drones swarm weak points. Your barbs, poison hulls. Vec grunted approval. Precision hits. Human grind follows. Nair nodded. Death world endurance. We pierce, you hold. Saethra's claw brushed Eli's arm. You refused glory. Why? Pride blinds. Eli grinned faint. Protection binds. Her frill warmed. Bond hummed. Alarms wailed. Fleet breached outer markers. Vec armed spears. To the bays. They charged corridors. Nobles cheered from alcoves. New precedent spread. Awe fueled them. Docking clamps shook. Enemy pods incoming. Eli sealed his suit. Scar itched promise. Saethra barred a barb. First blood mine. Pods cracked open. Claws poured out Hesh Kai's kin. Frills wore red. Vec rammed first. Shell cracked too. Eli dodged. Locked joints. Snaps echoed. Human stamina turned frenzy to fatigue. Saethra's mist bloomed. Foes convulsed. Nair sealed a bulkhead. Live feed. Empire watches. One exile broke through. Toxin glaive high. Aimed for Queen. Eli intercepted. Blade grazed ribs. Scar split again. Blood slicked. He didn't drop. Counterpunch caved shell. Saethra staunched it. Gel flowed fast. Endure. Pain fired to strength. He rose. Routed the rest. Fleet signals winked out. Surrender. Court feeds roared triumph. Yet a final ping. Hidden exile signal. Deeper vault. Eli wiped blood. Met her gaze. More. Her frill flared. Together. They descended. Shadows coiled. Vault hissed open. Last hardliner waited. Blade drawn. Right chant droning. Saethra tensed. Eli stepped ahead. Consent clause, remember? Hardliner lunged. Eli endured. Again, she touched the scar. Public now feeds empire-wide. This time, the whole realm flinched. Awe crashed like thunder. Frills bowed from core worlds to rim stations. Queen stood firm. Claw stayed. Trust absolute. Empire remade. But the hardliner whispered final. Rights eternal. Fleet shadow returns. Eli grinned through blood. Ready.